Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another edition of the War Zone. I got my co-host, Donovan Sadiq, in the building. The Queen, Demetra K. Say, was it a arrangement or was it just some freak shit? Will and Jada. We finna find out tonight, because we ain't talking about spring, summer, or fall. We gonna find out what that old nasty cougar was doing with August. That's what we gonna do. Now buckle up, it's gonna be a good one. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another exciting edition of the War Zone, and I've been at this homework all day, so y'all gotta forgive me. And it's what it is, man. There's so much going on in the world, man. One of the biggest fights I've seen all day was just all over the country, people scrambling, trying to figure out if they're gonna send their kids back to school. And I don't even think that's a no-brainer for me. That's all I can say. I can't tell parents what to do. Good thing my baby out of school, because this wouldn't even be a conversation. So, we got that going on. And, down here where we at, it's election time tomorrow today. You either gonna win or you going home. And I plan on sending a couple of y'all home, man. So I'm gonna turn it over to Demetra, and we're gonna get this thing started. What's going on?
So, hello everyone. Welcome to Monday night's edition of the War Zone. I hope you had a great weekend. I know I did. I didn't do much. So, as Gary was just saying, people are now trying to figure out whether they're going to send their children to school. Most schools start next month in August, depending on where you are. And so one of the big things that came out of today's news cycle is that LA County and San Diego County decided that they are not opening up the schools. They are going to have the children do distant learning. Basically, the campuses will remain closed because, especially out here, in California, the COVID has gone up. In fact, Gavin Newsom, our governor, has closed businesses back down. And so you can't go in the dine. The malls are closed. The bars are closed. Museums, you name it. You can't do anything that entails you going inside anymore. It is shut down at least for the next 3 weeks. He said he's going to revisit it in 3 days, but the COVID it's just gone up every day, more and more and more. We, I think, saw over 2,000 cases yesterday, almost 3,000 if I'm not mistaken. And so that's been the trend. And so we're seeing Los Angeles and San Diego County saying no schools for our children. So we're going to see if all the other states and counties are going to follow suit.
Well, real quick, also, too, everybody keeps forgetting the federal moratorium on evictions ends at the end of the month. So LA here in California, they are proposing to, they have like $300 and something million that if you're lucky and you get picked, they will pay about $2,000 of your rent. Now, remember, $2,000 in LA, you're living in Beirut. Okay. That's nothing. That's a 1-bedroom, nothing. You're in the hood basically for $2,000. So we've got that going on. And of course, there's going to be foreclosures coming up here in California as well. So a lot of stuff going on. So all you people that are sitting there, watching other people put in the work, and you guys are dancing and buck dancing in the streets and just doing what you got to do, those eviction notices are still coming. So be ready.
So, I've been writing these songs since the pandemic started, different things. I'm going to write a new one for all of them that just didn't take no advice. Sleeping up under the bridge. That's where you finna be, sleeping up under the bridge. Say, man, y'all know what it is. Well, put the flyer up. When we put the flyer up, we're going to talk about Will and Jada. It started going haywire. It just started going haywire. I mean, because everybody's got their opinion. Some people don't even have an opinion on it. At the end of the day, them grown folk, and some things that happen, But tonight we got to talk about it. So hopefully I don't lose any friends with what I gotta say. But we're gonna give it to Demetria and she'll get it crunk up. Will and Jada.
So I first want to start off by saying this. I know a lot of people are like, so what? I could have had a V8. Who cares? We got bigger fish to fry. Well, I will say at least for this hour, go fry those motherfuckers. Because today we're going to talk about Will and Jada. For one, we were asked to do it. And so on this show, we want to, try to stay abreast all topics for the most part. We can't talk about everything, but we want to try to talk about things that are trending and hopefully find some understanding and to see if we can make sense of it all. Now, of course, with Will and Jada, their relationship has been sort of a mystery. Nobody really knows what's going on. There's been a lot of speculation, whether they're an open relationship, which it kind of sounds like they were. Well, then a couple of weeks ago, August Alsina, during an interview with Angela Yee, discloses that him and Jada Pinkett Smith were in some sort of a relationship. Now, that was kind of mind-blowing to a lot of people because, for one, you guys know Jada Pinkett has the Red Table talk where she invites a whole host of people to come on and they talk about a whole lot of issues. And the other thing is we thought Will and Jada were together. And so everybody was kind of sent for a tailspin, if you will, trying to figure out what's going on. And for a minute there, Will and Jada both denied that that was the case because August said that Will knew about it and he kind of gave his permission. And so Will and Jada both originally denied that was the case. And then a couple of days ago, Will and Jada, as you can see here on Donovan's background, they brought Will, I guess, brought Jada to the Red Table, if you will. And she kind of roundabout said, yes, she was in a relationship with August. She called it an entanglement. Even to the point to where Will was like, an entanglement. And she says, yeah, an entanglement. So basically, that word has been trending all over the place in memes and news stories and you name it, because now I guess people are using, it's interchangeable for cheating, if you will, the entanglement. And so she basically owned the fact that her and August were in some sort of a relationship, right? Now, the other thing that should be said is, August at the time was about 22 years old. He was the friend of her children, Jada and Willow Smith, their children. That's how they were introduced to Jada. August was having some issues. I guess he had bouts or thought about suicide and, some drug usage. And plus he was sick. I think he's losing his eyesight. So he had a whole lot of things going on. And him and Jada, I guess, forced some sort of relationship where she said, and yes, he kind of said too, she was helping him get over some things or to heal. I guess that's the word we want to use. She was helping him heal. And somewhere in the process, they ended up in a relationship. Now, of course, speculation and opinions have been all over the place from, well, it's their business, it's not our business. And, Jada is a predator. Or, well, he was a grown man. And or August is, not my words, but other people's words, he's a bitch. Because, he told about what they were doing. So opinions are all over the place as to what is exactly going on here. And so I'm going to give it to Gary and Donovan. But I would like to say today, for those of you guys who are like, who cares? I said this a minute ago. Go find a news hour, if you will, or a show for the next hour that you can get involved with, because the fish that we are going to fry today is that of Will and Jada in August. So you've been warned. All right, so Gary.
It was always two women in entertainment that you needed to stay away from because they had kryptonite in their coochie. You stay away from them Kardashian girls, and you stay away from Erykah Badu. Because Erykah will make you switch up all the way you dress, you talk. She messed up the DOC. She messed up Andre 3000. She almost got Common, but he was used common sense and got the hell up out the building. So, yeah, so now Jada, hold on a second, man. I don't really care nothing about the age. If they grown, they grown. I got a problem. That's your son, friend. Now, people want to say, well, they were in an open relationship. Did the way Will look like they were in an open relationship? Will looked like he swallowed a cat. He was hurt. It was what it was. And that soft ass apology she gave, she could have kept that one, bro. All she had to say was, August was here and he gave me the dick. I'd have took that before I took that soft ass apology. Donovan?
And well, when I saw it, I mean, to me, it wasn't really much of an apology. She was basically, it was like, I did it, moving on. It's funny how we always make fun. It's a tragedy when a man takes advantage of a young woman, but when a woman takes advantage of a young man, it's no big deal. Hey, I wish that was me. And as a guy, I saw Jason's lyric. You wanted to get with Jada back in the day and all that other stuff. It's back in the day, but it's two grown people. And what I really didn't like about the interview, you could see Will was hurt. You can see he was hurt in the interview, and he didn't really know what to say. They're just trying to get ahead of the story. But I'm just going to bring up the fact that, as you heard, 50 Cent and Lil Boosie making all these comments and stuff. And I just got to take exception with their comments. Here are two dudes who have never been married, got kids all over the damn place. And they're making fun of a man who is trying to keep his 20-year relationship with his spouse together. And I think it's just something wrong when we make fun of a couple splitting up and had been together for a long time. I think it's just, what's going on when we think that's a bad thing as a man, you let somebody else smash on your girl. Did Will have a choice? Did he have a choice? So
that kind of makes me wonder, because you look at Gabrielle Union, you look at Jada Pinkett Smith, that they got something about them. They want to run it off. And these husbands just kind of fall in line with what they do. So they'll spin the narrative any way that they choose to. When you're rich, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. When Tevin Campbell was out there and people, he gay. He got enough money to be whatever the hell he want to be. So my thing is, I really think the open relationship part, okay, so when Will was open, if he was doing the same thing, why would it hurt so bad? I think the narrative was spent a certain way, because when you are these people, you're under a microscope. You see what I'm saying? You're under a microscope, and somebody probably saw something or whatever back in the day, so they had to come up with something with it. So the agreement to me is, look, we're just going to say we're in an open relationship. We're going to keep it quiet, blah, 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 blah. We're going to move on from there. But now you went slept with a mentally unstable kid. You caught him when he had one eye. Could he even see where he was going to put that thing? You caught him when he had one eye. And he gave you the dick.
Ooh, boy, I was taking notes when you two fellas was talking. Well, I would like to say this, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I think the look that was on Will's face is, you remember that song by, oh gosh, it slips my mind. And he says, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. He says, I didn't think my girl had nerve. I didn't think she can do that to me. I think that's what that look was. Because, as my opinion, I don't know Will and Jada, but what I think is Will didn't really know the level of relationship August and Jada had until August disclosed. I don't think he knew. And so Will is being brought to the table. And I think he probably didn't want to do it, but it's like, damn. Because he even alluded to it and said, I feel like I'm that spouse that's sitting with you at the press conference when, basically when you did something wrong and I'm that supportive spouse. I really think that's the role he was serving in. But to me, the look was very telling, like, damn. Because and Jada even said too, oh, you don't, because he says, well, now I got to pay you back. And she says, no, I think we're even. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what she pretty much said. I think we're even. So I don't think it's really a huge secret that Will was out there doing his thing. And when his sweet little old wife, got caught with her hand or somebody else's hand in her cookie jar. And now because see, we didn't really know a whole lot about Will publicly, but not the whole world knows Jada has been having a relationship with this 22-year-old. Now he's 26 or 27 now, but let's just back it up a little bit. 22 years old to me, like I'm almost 50. To me, that's a child. That is a baby. There's nothing a 22-year-old can do for me but show me where his daddy is at. That's the only thing he can do for me. And so my initial take on it, we'll get into it a little bit, is that Jada is a predator, and she's a predator. Because we've used that term with R. Kelly. Now, I'm not talking about the little kids he was messing. I'm not talking about R. Kelly and little kids. I'm talking about the older women that, 18, 19, 20, that people, and especially a lot of women, argued up and down, well, they steal kids. Same thing applies for Jada. August is 22 years old, probably just realized he even had a wiener. And here she is, trying to mentor him and bring him back to health. And somehow she ends up in bed with him. Now, she also said, well, I was going through some things. I wasn't well and I needed to feel good. So what I heard her say was, what she didn't say, is I used this little boy perhaps to get back at Will, because I'm sure she knew Will was getting his thing around and here was her opportunity. Now, maybe Will didn't know she was doing it, but she knew she was doing it. So to me, she used August. Now, should August have kissed and told? Yeah, most dudes will say no, he shouldn't have told. But you got to remember, he was a 22-year-old kid at the time, messing with a very older woman, old enough to be his mama, because he was hanging around her children. So, and what else? And that wasn't an apology. I agree with you. It was not an apology at all. It was I wasn't feeling good. I had some issues, and, it just I fell on the ding-a-ling is basically what happened. It was an accident. Oops. And as far as it being our business, Jada brings everybody else to her red table and gets in their business and admonishes them. And you guys have seen the memes of Snoop, how, they said, do tell pretty much. You brought me here. You remember she had T.I. on there, and him and Tiny was talking about their relationship. But she forgot to talk about her relationship. So it is our business because they made it our business, right? And as far as whoever Donovan said having an opinion, why not? Jada has an opinion on everybody else. Next.
I'm looking at the comment from Whitney CG. Jada was the mother August wanted and needed. So we sleeping with our mamas now? We sleeping with our mamas now. If she played the role of a mother, huh?
I want to say his parents are deceased as well.
Now, I get that, but she played the role of a mother. So now you sleep with the motherly figure. Well, the motherly figure sneaks in and knocks you down. I'm going to tell you something. I think Will was more hurt. And I can only guess. Because this is the second time some man been talking about they in love with his wife. First it was Pac. And now it's this little boy August. See, Will done been through this shit before. I think a lot of people done forgot that. He done been through this before. Bottom line, I don't cut for it. It wasn't right. This man in the highs with you and, with your kids, playing the PlayStation. And the whole time around the corner over there, you're sucking him up. But some people don't see anything wrong with that. So I tell you what, all of y'all that's on here that got kids, can I fuck them? Since I know you, offer them up. First thing you gonna say, I'm a dirty old man. Well, if I'm a dirty old man, Jada's a dirty old woman.
Yeah, I mean, Donovan, you have anything to say?
Oh no, I was getting in the comments and
Oh,
listening to some of the other folks as well. That's the double standard when it comes to men and women, but especially in our community. Where's the respect for the person better? Now, I'm not blaming August because that's a young man. He doesn't really know no better. It's just like sexual assault, or what's that movie with Demi Moore and Michael Douglas?
Disclosure.
Yeah, Disclosure. Power is about the one who has the seniority or the money or the one that does it. So that's what the responsibility goes. So all the responsibility is on Jada. However, whatever is going on in what's going on in the marriage, Will didn't get caught. That's the problem. I'm not saying Will didn't do anything. He just didn't get caught. Okay. Now, y'all got to remember when you're dealing with these young kids, they're on some different shit. So the down low that we would know that what goes on, these young kids don't know, because if I got, oh man, look, I got what old girl's mom and stuff like that, we gonna brag that's gonna get out. And Jada should have known that. But my thing is, you've got these guys out here that antiquate black manhood with, how many women you sleep with, regardless of, if they're married or not. And that's total bullshit, because karma is a real thing. And a lot of Negroes have been killed over the pussy. Okay. Period.
Say Jay-Z one line, it's the power of the P-U-S-S-Y, man. Now, Breasia Renee say they were separated. Come on, let's stop playing this game, man.
Come on with the bullshit.
Whether you got a ring on your finger or not, y'all already know what the deal be, man. Goddamn well, you're going to throw us out for about 2 weeks, let us back in. So in that 2 weeks, you go out there and get the dick and then act like it's all good because we were separated. Cut that out, man. Stop acting like, this is some BS, man. Come on, man. That woman knew she wasn't leaving that man. Because I kind of feel like that's a crazy ass household. That's really a crazy household. And I don't think nobody can put up with Jada and her foolishness like Will, and nobody can put up with Will like Jada. So she wasn't leaving him.
My thing is this too. So yeah, they were separated, and let's concede that point. They were separated. To me, the real issue is when August said that him and Jada were in a relationship, and Will and Jada denied it at first. So it's like, to me, y'all be separated. Whatever. Separated, divorce, whatever you gonna do, but y'all brought this damn near child. Well, Breasia, as I said, maybe you missed this disclosure, disclaimer at the front. You can watch your ass off in the post. Today we talking about Will and Jada. What you should do is
let me say this to Breasia.
I tried to be nice.
Let me say this to you, baby. I need you to listen. I want you to put your ear to the computer. Listen real closely. See, when you have hoish tendencies, you don't want people to talk about nothing. Will is who he is. Jada is in everybody's goddamn business. So today, little mama, I'm in the business of helping people. And I'm gonna help you too. You don't have to say nothing else. Because I'd talk about Jesus if he was out there freaking.
So to that point, like I said, we're going to talk about it for the next 40 minutes or so. So if it's not your cup of tea, then I suggest you go where your cup of tea is being served. But as far as you talking about COVID and all that is going on, we talked about the COVID before you came on here with all the answers. But
let's talk about the COVID now. You knuckles, gonna have me locked up in the house again because your stinking ass want to eat crawfish. You want to run to the club, and then you want to come in at 7 o'clock and want us to talk about the same shit over and over. Go sit your stinking ass down and put your headphones on and listen to us drag Jada Pinkett.
I co-sign that. But regardless if they were married or not, they brought a child. To me, he's a child. They brought a child into their relationship. And some people would call that grooming. We've heard that term before. Is when somebody who has more experience, if you will, and they're seeking to get something, they call that grooming. And that's what she did. I mean, if he was confiding in her, she said she was helping him heal and all of that. I mean, I think the onus was on her not to end up in the bed with this boy. You know,
hey, but isn't that some of the tactics that Jeffrey Epstein and Jocelyn Maxwell used when they were dealing with young people, and everybody's outraged and all this, but only in the Black community can a 50, 60-year-old man get with an 18-year-old girl, even though she's an adult, nobody says nothing.
Right.
It's actually the normal. Now you're gonna have a few people on there act like, oh yeah, you shouldn't do. Man, I was in school with some of y'all with them old dudes driving up to the school messing with y'all. You wouldn't even talk to us. You didn't care if I was the captain of the football team. You wasn't talking to me, you talked to them old dudes. And that is a problem. That is a problem. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I seen a picture today of Jada mama. Now, August, if you're watching, you should have put the deck to her mama.
You know what? I think fair is fair. Because like I said, that this couldn't be R. Kelly or any of those other cats out there, and they get so many passes. But I can't tell you how many, you know, especially women, us Black women especially, make excuses for Jada. Because I couldn't have a 22-year-old. Now, of course, at the end of the day, a 22-year-old is chronologically a man. He is grown, chronologically speaking. But experience-wise, he's not grown. And I wouldn't want no damn near 50-year-old woman getting in the bed with my 22-year-old son. Especially if she is married. She's separated, but she's still a married woman. And per everybody else's testimony, and low-key sounds like Will and Jada's, they were in an open relationship. And as Gary said, she knew good and hell well she was not leaving Will. What she did was turn August into a plaything and got busted. Because she also said, oh, this was many years ago. Well, hell, he ain't but 26. How many more years you talking about? Plus, she also had August on the red table talking about his, you know, illness and all that other stuff. So how long ago was this really? And so you talk about Jada, who has a red table to bring everybody to the table to speak their truths and, you know, all this, that, and the other. She's a bald-faced lie. She didn't tell the truth about any of that. She made herself out to be the victim. And the other cold part is she kikied and ha-ha'd with Will over the whole situation, just really kind of dismissing August like, well, he was something I did. I'm better now. I healed myself. Next. Clearly, he still got some issues from their relationship or what he thought was a relationship.
I think Will is gonna show people he's gonna deal with the vows for better or for worse. I don't think Will is going to leave. I think they're gonna go through extensive counseling. We will probably never know about it, but you could see the hurt in his eyes. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've been a Will Smith fan forever, since he came out of West Philly, man. Him and Jazzy Jeff long time ago sitting on some goddamn bricks in concert, and they lighting up when Jeff hitting the turntable. I've been a Will Smith fan for a long time. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. That man was hurt, man. And see, them the type of games when you're out there and you're doing what you do, get your head blowed off. Them the one that'll be the Hollywood exclusive Jada Pinkett Smith found with a navel shot off. Yeah, died from internal bleeding of the navel, playing with Will Smith. She wrong, and she should have came better than what she came. If you got the balls to check T.I. about him and his daughter, then sit at your red table and speak truth to power.
You know, I've been looking at the comments, and they're just flowing. They're just flowing. And that's good because we have the greatest conversation on the internet right here in the war zone. But you want to, what's really bothering me about this whole conversation? When we talk about Will and Jada, all these people are tuning in. But when we're talking about saving your black asses, money, finances, all this other stuff, nobody shows up. Nobody shows up. And I know my regular people out there that show up, you know, we appreciate you guys as well. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to the so-called none of our business stuff by public people, we got a problem. But everybody's tuning in. Everybody's putting their 2 cents in. And I think there's something wrong with that.
And I want to piggyback off of JJ's comment where she says the double standard, this double standard is bullshit. And I agree with her. It's double standard. I see the comments, you know, and I can't see them all, but I'm looking at some of them, and I see a lot of women in there saying, but he was an adult. He was grown. But I guarantee you, if I scroll back a year on some of y'all pages, y'all are reaming R. Kelly's ass up and down. I know that analogy was kind of disgusting, but I'm sure y'all give him the business for the same thing.
It's a lot of things that going through this man's mind. It ain't like August and Jada were going to the fucking motel. He was screwing this little boy in the same house. See, y'all don't understand where the hurt come from. You screwing this dude in the same house that this man is in. In his mind, was she doing it when I was here? Was I out there doing a movie? When was she screwing it? Because that's when his mind starts playing with it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's truly it's what it is. But like I said, you know, if it's Bill Cosby sleeping with a young girl, oh, he's the dirtiest motherfucker in the world. If it's R. Kelly, he's the dirtiest motherfucker in the world. You do not sleep with your children's friends. It's no, from where I'm from, it's no. Now, August, I don't know where you from, homie. But you violated the codes. You violated the pimp codes. You don't get to talking about it. You don't talk about it, homie. You keep that to yourself. So now this is going to, he's not in the position of Will and Jada. This is going to affect his earning income. Man, ain't nobody gonna want to touch that dude, man. Maybe he did it to get publicity for his album. Who knows? But I know you don't get to run in your mouth. Real dudes ain't finna talk about what go on in the room, man.
I also think to the other side of that, what happens in the dark comes to the light. You know, you can't be, I don't care who you are or what you do. If you're not walking the talk in public or in private, it will come out in public that you're not doing that. You can't have a whole show, you know, talking to holding people accountable and you know, this, that, and the other. Then your ass is riding dirty. And I don't care what nobody say. I agree with Gary. You don't sleep with your friend, your children's friends. That to me, that's just off. And I mean, that's like if, let's say that was Will and Willow brought, you know, a girlfriend over, a friend that was a girl that was her age and she was an adult though. Y'all know good hell goddamn well most of y'all women out there would have been calling Will a pervert and oh, he's this and he's that. Let's cancel Will. If that would have been reversed, there ain't no way in hell y'all would have been talking about, but she's an adult. I would have called him a sicko. But you don't sleep with your friends, your children's friends. I mean, it's like, come on, where is the barrier? Where is the line in the sand?
The most damaging interview that I've ever seen between a couple was Robin Givens and Mike Tyson. This blew that out the water. You know, there's a rule whether you want to accept it or not, and you may live by it. You may not even know you're living by it. Don't give me no surprises. And I think what she laid on him, she just, you know, is what it is. I don't know if the dude got a prenup, because if he did have a prenup, you know, this thing might be going somewhere totally different. You got to remember, Will is going to deal with for better or for worse right now. Because I give her credit. She was rocking with him when he went broke. The man went flat broke. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I'm going to say this here. I hope they work it out. I hope they work it out. But, you know, all that swinging, oh, they swingers. Say, man, I keep telling y'all, y'all change the rules around here. That ain't cool, bro. That ain't cool. That lead to other things, man. And look what it led to. You want to be a Christian on a Sunday and the devil the other 6 days of the week. No, it don't work like that, man. Some of y'all living foul. You violating the codes. It is what it is, man. But like I say, in this instance, we ain't got no will. So all you can do is just sit there and say the man was hurt. She couldn't throw nothing in his face to say I did it because of this. Because I'm pretty sure she would have.
You know, when I was in the military, we used to say, I used to get these young couples all the time complaining. They got married, they're in love, and they're married, right? And, you know, they might have let somebody in the relationship. Then I would get these young men that would be like, she ain't got half her rent. I'd be like, wait a minute, you're the man. She doesn't need half her rent. That's why you're the husband. The husband means taking care of a wife. But here we are, you know, we had a saying, it's called married bachelors. There's a lot of married bachelors out there. And my thing is, if you want to still go out there and sow your oats and, you know, do Coming to America and your royal oats, yes, go to America, do whatever you got to do, right? Why get married and then cause all of this fuss? And you guys got to remember, these two people have children, and their children are screwed up, as we already know. But it's like, if you don't want to be with somebody and you're in a marriage situation and it's over, let it be over. But don't just sit there and I'm bringing this person in and that person in and don't think chaos is not going to ensue.
The other thing too is, y'all remember when Woody Allen married his stepdaughter? People had a whole lot to say, oh, that's not to this day. People talk, and it is disgusting. People talk about how disgusting it is. But here it is, people making a whole lot of excuses for Jada doing what she's doing. And let's take that off the table for a minute. What about the relationship with her children? I would think that would be a little bit funky, knowing that your mama's screwing up on your friends. And you got a whole daddy that she's separated from. They still married. I know if I found out something like that about my parents, it would leave a really bad taste in my mouth. Like, really, Mom? My friend, really? So, I mean, that's for them to figure out what their relationship dynamics is with their children in light of her sleeping with the children's friend. But nah, I'm not giving Jada no pass. I'm sorry. Y'all could give Jada a pass. Jada doesn't get a pass, or Kelly doesn't get a pass. None of those predators, because that's what Jada is. I don't care if you like it or not. Jada is a predator. Okay, she used her position and her influence and her affection that he had for her to get healing for herself. That's what she said. Jada is also a predator.
What do you say after sleeping with somebody's mom afterwards? Okay, I'm 50 years old. And let's say I get lucky. And I get me a younger woman in her 20s, let's say, high 20s. What do you say after the deed is done? Thanks? Do you want a lollipop? Can I, you know what I mean? It's like, that would just be the most awkward position to be in.
They say they were grown. I say, yeah, they were grown, but he was vulnerable. Let me go slow for you. Imagine if I go sit outside of the shelter. You think I couldn't get somebody? What if I go hang out outside of the mental hospital? You think I couldn't get somebody? Maybe after a hurricane when you done lost everything. You really think I couldn't get somebody? The kid was vulnerable. And that's normally when predatory figures come through the door and they do what they do. Some people have decided to change the rules. There was honor and respect. There were certain things that you just did not do. I had friends, and honestly, I would ask my partners if I could take their sister on a date. That's just the way that it was. And I knew he was going to tell me no. Because he knew the type of dude I was. You see what I'm saying? You didn't sleep with the children, no matter what their ages were. So, my good black people, we're living by different rules and different values. Nowadays, I still live the old school way. But you new people, with the switching up everything, you're going to make somebody put that heat on your ass. Keep playing. And as far as 50, when the love bug get 50, he going to commit suicide.
And I also think, you know.
And honestly, Demetra, that's why, what's my girl from Set It Off? What was her name? Vivica. Mm-hmm. That's why he left Vivica alone. He couldn't handle it. You want to talk that craziness, 50? I'm telling you, Vivica was finna work you, boy.
And I think if we were having this conversation about a man that was even 10 years older, I don't think it was, I mean, it'd be bad, you know, that she's separated and sleeping around or whatever the case is. But if he was 10 years older, I don't think it would be as bad, you know, but that he was 22 and he's the children's playmate, if you will, the children's friend. You know, I mean, as somebody said, indeed, he was molested as a child, and Jada knew all of that. And somehow you found him to be attractive enough to carry on some sort of relationship. It's wrong. It's wrong. And, you know, and for her to try to make it seem like, well, what she did too was made it all about her. Well, I wasn't feeling good. I needed some healing. I was going through some things. And, you know, we'll talk about I was about to leave you. You was driving me, you know, so they made it about them. You know, just skirting the issue of August altogether. Like, yeah, I used them and abused them, but now we're better now. Bad marriage for life. You know, it's like, really? You're still gonna not eat? I'm gonna go on and keep on saying that Jada is a predator. She don't get no pass because she's a woman, okay? Women do it all the time. Jada, you know, we're talking about her because she's the celebrity. She's the most notable that we can talk about. Like I said, if it was a man, and it has been men, we talk about them all the time. But because Jada's a woman, Jada gets a pass. I don't think she gets a pass at all. Now, did she do anything criminally wrong? No, she didn't do criminally wrong. But morally wrong, hell yeah, she's morally bankrupt.
Well, I would ask anybody, why should she get a pass? Why? Why? Because he was of age? That doesn't mean that he was mentally there. The kid had already been through a bunch of stuff, man. He'd been through a bunch of stuff, man. And now he's finna go through more stuff, man. I mean, I'm really nervous about this kid being by himself right now with all this going on. I mean, because Jada gets to go back to the big house and do her thing. And, you know, this kid is in love and feels like the world may end. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, I will say, you know, he threw, what's the other little girl he threw under the bus the other day? Little Jasmine Plummer.
Oh,
Kiki Palmer. Kiki.
She a hoe. She lay up with everybody. I'm telling the real. She ain't never a hoe. I'm just telling you, Will, man. And I believe him on Kiki, no questions about it.
I want to address Michael. His last name escapes me, but he says talk about real issues. Well, this is a real issue. I feel like we need to talk about these things, you know, and that this is an opinionated show, and we bring a lot of facts to it. But right now, we're speaking on opinion because we don't want people to think that's okay. It's not okay. And for everybody to keep giving, you know, Jada or women like her a pass, and you know, you men can probably speak to this. I can't tell you how many male friends of mine who have said their virginity was taken by their friend's mama. Well, a good friend of mine said he was 13 years old. 13 years old, and his friend's mom, who's like 35 or so, would come get him off the bus stop every day. And he said they had a relationship for like 2 years. At 13 years old, she took his virginity, a grown-ass woman. I've spoken to quite a few men who said that was the case. But we don't think that's a big deal in our community for whatever reason. Grown-ass women sleeping with little boys. Now, I know, you know, August was of age, but I'm just saying in the total conversation of it all. Now, you know, if a man is doing that, he gets drugged the hell and back. But if we're speaking about women, it's like, well, it's not a big deal. You know, August was of age. She's still a predator. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, well, you know, when I told you that story about old girl taking me off the bus stop, I didn't want you to blast it all over here in Houston. I'm just joking.
Well, you know, like I say, and I'm gonna speak real for a second. I joke a lot. Our kids are being raised by a lot of people that don't understand value. They don't know what values are. They don't know what character is. Jada's character will always be in question from this day forward. Your reputation will last but one day, but your character will be tested for a lifetime. Her character is in question. Who you know with common sense gonna bring their kids around her, or their young adult kids around her now? They're gonna drag her in the tabloids. They're gonna do that. You know, at the end of the day, you know, they were grown. The woman was married, man. It is what it is. I don't care what nobody say. You can say what you want. And Alonzo Scott says it best. I just said it a few minutes ago with Tupac. Thing was the same. Same shit. This man has dealt with this multiple times with this woman. But y'all don't see where the problem lies. So you ain't got no problem. Those that don't have a problem with it. I will tell you this here, and then, you know, I'll pass it on. This is why our children are fucked up now. Because people don't understand that that is a problem.
And there's boundaries. I think, you know, like I said, we had the R. Kelly discussion, you know, a million times. There's just boundaries and things that are not okay. Now, I know, you know, in everybody else's community, they have the same issues, but we seem to really give those things a pass, even when it is dealing with men. And I think, you know, Gary talked about it, where he says that he went to school with girls who would get picked up by older dudes. You know, I was dating an older dude. I knew girls who was dating an old dude. And I'm not talking about, you know, 2 and 3, 4 years older than her. I'm talking about 10 plus years older. But as a community, we know those things are going on, but we don't check those things. We know there's a dude in the community dating the young girls, and we might talk about it, but nobody's really putting a foot to his ass. You know, until R. Kelly evolves, and then everybody want to come out. Well, yeah, we know we used to see him pick the girls up from school at the high school, you know, and take the 13-year-olds or whatever to buy them Jordans. And now you talking about it instead of whooping his ass when it was going on, you know. And the same thing for the women in our community. I'm sure everybody on this whole show in the comments and everybody can at least think of one male that they know that had a relationship with an older woman when that boy was underage. We all know somebody who was in that situation But again, it gets a pass like, oh, well, Shhh, that's what men do and blah, blah, blah. But it's not okay either way you look at it. These are children that are being dealt with, and a young adult, 22 is a young adult. What experience does he have to even be? He's not even on Jada's level at all. She's a professional. I'm sure she ran circles around him in every arena, mentally, physically, financially, everywhere they were together. She ran circles around him. So Jada knew better. So in our community, we need to get a hold of that.
Yeah, Aluna,
she was a professional. She a professional hoe.
Exactly. Aluna, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, says R. Kelly was messing with girls of age and was still prosecuted. So, there you go. There's a double standard right there, Demetra.
Well,
yeah. No, go ahead.
And I was finna say that's where the double standard comes in. Because if it was a man, he'd be getting drugged like a Persian rug right now. I think the red table need to go in the garage. I don't think you need to be talking and telling nobody what they need to do no more. Your Oprah 5 minutes of fame is over, Jada. What you need to start doing is porno.
I mean, I don't know about the porno part of it, but I think it is in question. I don't think, I know I wouldn't be able, for now anyway, I wouldn't be able to watch the red table and be able to push that in the back of my mind. Wow, Jada was just on here talking about being with an underage, well, not underage, but a very young adult man while she was married, whether she was separated or not. And it was her kid's, friend on top. Like, yeah, she might need to sit this thing out for a little bit till maybe it all blows over, or maybe come to the table correct and saying what I did was wrong. It was predatory. I should have known better as a fully grown woman to not engage in not an entanglement, but a sexual relationship with this kid, knowing full well that I was not trying to leave Will in any degree, whatever they was going on. I was not trying to leave Will for him because clearly August thought there was something more than him just giving her the ding-a-ling. Clearly he was a little bit more involved in their situation than she was. And there's no doubt in my mind, I'm sure she probably blew it, just like men do, blew his head up with, oh, yes, me and Will are going through these things. And yes, as soon as this is over, we can be together. Oh, I just love. I'm sure it was all of that. I'm sure she did what she needed to do to get him hooked. And a couple years later, he told on her ass.
Jonelle says Jada lived out her girls' trip in real life.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to just say it, man, because you sitting at a red table with your husband, even though you doing this and it's live, but you finna have a real conversation. And you said, I got in an entanglement. Bitch, what did you say? Did you fucking... See, the entanglement thing would have set me off. Don't sit me here with these cameras on me and play with me. Tell me what the real is, bitch. Did you wear a condom? Because I ain't sleeping with your nasty ass no more. You know the one thing I always ask myself, why is it that we spend so much time listening to celebrities? All of a sudden, they sell a few records. They get a hot television show. And they become experts on our lives. This is where, Jada, it's not a pass, but I'm going to give this to you. You seem like you were above being human. And you did some human shit. You know where that shit you did, Jada, was from the corner where they filmed The Wire in Baltimore, where your stinking ass grew up at. You reverted back to your hoish tendencies that had never left you. So I respect you, Jada, for being human, but not being forthcoming when you sat at that table. And that's why you should stop turning on your TVs, listening to these people, because they ain't nothing but a bag of freaks.
You know what, though? I think you really hit the nail on the head. Is that a lot of people do see Jada as some sort of a deity. You know, she's supreme and she's above it all. And, you know, she's got all this insight and wisdom. And, you know, she's very soft-spoken and she has all of this world-changing advice.
And she knew Tupac. She was really good friends with Tupac.
Right. And then it puts her above being human. And like I said, she had a very human moment. And instead of just owning it, she played the role with, I'm still a deity. I'm still supreme here. I had an entanglement. I was like, I've never heard anybody describe screwing your kids, your friends, your kids.
Let's role play, Dimitri. You be Jada. I'm gonna be Will. Go ahead. Tell me about it. What happened?
Well, you know, we had an entanglement.
You got your motherfucking mind? What the fuck is an entanglement? Did he give you the dick?
Well, you know, I fell and it just happened to entangle with me. And you know what? We can't hear you.
Did you suck him up? Did you fall on top of it?
We got entangled.
You know what? You better entangle your ass in one of them fly-ass cars in that garage. You got about 5 minutes before I bust your fucking head open.
And you know what? I'm sure
that's the way it would have went in Baltimore, where she from.
I'm sure they had to take that a few times. I'm sure that's where the Will's red eyes came from. It's probably like, nah, man, you can't say that. We need to make it a little bit more wholesome. You know, you can't put your hands around her throat on TV.
I don't think he would have gotten violent, but I think he deserved better than what she gave him. You know, just keep it 100 at that point. Just go on and, you know, it's what it is now. The man know he married to a hoe now, so, you know, it is what it is. Dwayne Wade, same thing. You married to a hoe, a freak. Just go on and see it. But I don't want, if you can't say nothing about Jada, don't you never say nothing about my boy Lil Boosie no more.
Well, I'm going to say this in defense of Jada being labeled a hoe. You know, I don't know for sure, but I think Will was out there too. You know, and this is the thing. I think men, you filthy evil men. I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. Just one thing I think you men don't really understand is, not saying y'all, but men, y'all be out there cheating, swinging your dang-a-lang from the east to the west, to the north to the south, and everywhere in between, right? And it's good. But when you find out your woman is getting dove off into, then it's a whole different ball game. You know, you dirty, filthy woman, you, how dare you? Well, what I was doing what you was doing. Oh, it's not funny anymore. All those excuses you give me, oh, you know, I stayed out late, and, you know, I would have, you know, my phone died. That's why you couldn't. All that shit comes rushing back in. And when your woman is doing it to you, then it's not funny anymore. Then she gets labeled a hoe. She's doing what you were doing. So it's like, is one act better than the other? I mean, there should be a balance here. If you hoeing, I'm hoeing. Don't try to give me the big hoe title. You take the little hoe title. I'm just doing what you were. Not saying that any of it is right. I'm not saying it's right. But they say it's no fun when the rabbit has the gun. And I think that's part of it.
Right. But you got to remember, though, okay, men, like the human species and animal that we are, because we are just a higher evolution of animal. If you go to any animal species, the alpha male does all the mating. That is why you see these guys impregnate these girls and then leave the girl for the new chick, but don't want nobody messing with the old chick. And we be getting upset. It's just something that's in our mindset. It's not an excuse. I'm just saying that's the madness of the whole damn thing.
You got to live by some values, man. You know, Some people didn't. They don't have a problem with this swinging thing and all this other shit going on out here nowadays. Say, man, y'all is messed up for real, man. Where I come from, it was a two-parent household, one parent sometimes. My mama wasn't trying to sleep with my homeboys. My partners loved my mama. She would cook for them, and they come hang out and they go about their business. But see, nowadays y'all done changed the rules up. Y'all drinking in the club with your kids, smoking weed with them, you know, all kind of shit. Willow out there half naked in magazines and all the shit that they got going on. But she told Will, when Will say he gotta get her back. Remember, Jada, you ain't that popular. Will Smith still travels. So you can best believe one of y'all out there is going to get the Fresh Prince's ding-a-ling put in your world.
I will say this. The difference between Jada and Will and Ray and Boom Quisha is that Jada and Will are famous. I don't think Jada and Will are doing anything abnormal. I mean, it's abnormal, but they're not an anomaly, if you will. They're not rare. I think people do all of that stuff all the time. It's just that they have the spotlight. We know them, you know, more than we know our neighbors, unfortunately, which is sad. But there's the only difference between them and a lot of people is privacy and public. That's the only thing, because we probably all know somebody personally who's got something similar going on in their relationships, in their household, with their children, with their mate. We all know, you know, Buster up the street or whatever. He got 11 women all over the goddamn place and children too, you know. So I just think they just have more exposure than the average Joe does.
Final thoughts, Donovan?
Well, like I always say, and this is kind of the same thing as what Demetra kind of took, what is done in the dark always comes to the light. It might take a year, it might take 10 years, but it's going to come to the light. And for all you guys out there, musicians and people that are, you know, making it big and, you know, doing big things, you got to get that prenup. If, you know, Dr. Dre ain't got no prenup. So, but at the end of the day, when you bring in outside people into your sacred marriage, problems are going to happen. I have yet to meet anybody that has done that and there weren't problems with it. And then again, the double standard. If that was me at 50 years old, dating a 22-year-old girl, all hell would have been broken out the house. So we got to, you know, start checking ourselves and start respecting ourselves.
Final thoughts, Ms. Demetra?
I 100% agree with Donovan. What you do in the dark will come to the light. Walk the talk in the light and in the dark, if you will. But, you know, I would just say, also to Donovan's point, don't open up Pandora's box if you don't want to know what's in that mug. Just don't do it. You know, like Donovan said, I know people who were swingers and it never worked out. It was kikiing and ha-haing up until somebody got more involved or whatever the case is. But just like, I don't know, I would say strive to do the right thing, whatever that is. Jada and Will are swingers. Don't involve a little kid that happens to be your children's friend. That was, I mean, eventually, Jada had to been walking on pins and needles wondering when this boy was going to tell it. So, I mean, be upright in the light and in the dark.
The coochie is free, but the crack costs money. I don't know exactly what that means, but it sounded good. The coochie is free, but the crack costs money. Say, man, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Just give you an update. I got to go back to Minnesota. I leave Thursday to go back to Minneapolis, go back up there and check on the organization that we, all of us, y'all that sent me last time, that was part of the work that we had to do. Go back up there and build this organization to help that community. That community has not recovered yet. So I leave Thursday to go back, and I've already talked to Luck. She waiting on me. and we gonna go down there and finish up the paperwork and get it done. So if you want to help me, you know what the Cash App is. It's been floating at the bottom. Every little bit counts because it's not cheap. So if you want to help, you can help. If you don't want to, you still my peoples. Tomorrow is election day in Houston, as well as Fort Bend County, man. I need you to go push that button for Sherman Eagleton for constable. I need it for Harold Dutton, man. Don't do Jared Davis. We still ain't figured out where he live yet. We can't put no homeless guy in as a state representative because then he'll be sleeping in the office in Austin. We can't do that. So you're gonna have to rock with my man. You want Tanya Bird out in Fort Bend. You want Bridget Smith Lawson out in Fort Bend. You want Eric Fagan out in Fort Bend. You feel what I'm saying? I need Wendell Champion to be in that November race against Sheila Jackson Lee. You feel what I'm saying? Main thing for me is go vote. I really don't care how you do it, but I need you to go vote. Do something with yourself besides end up in an entanglement. You don't want to, you're seeing now that you don't want to end up entangled. And I want to tell anybody that's down with Gary Monroe, don't never end up in no entanglement. Because I just might entangle them nuts in you. Y'all know what it is, man. It's the hottest show on social media. And some nights we get loose. I tell you what, tomorrow night, let's talk about this. 800 million and no goddamn prenup for the good doctor. Some of y'all need to leave with what you came with. And that's what it is, man. Want to say thank you to my co-host, Jonathan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetra K. I am the 5-star general. You know what it is, big homie. Until tomorrow, we'll talk to you.